Welcome back to the Legal Brief, the show where we crush the various legal myths and misinformation surrounding various areas of the gun world. I'm your host, Adam Kraut, and today we're taking a look at a number of new gun laws in Texas. But wait, they're pro-gun. SB Tactical, the originator of the pistol stabilizing brace, set the bar for innovation and product development in the PDW pistol category. From the insanely popular SB-M4 to the adjustable SB-A3 and even kits for pump-action firearms, SB Tactical braces are available for a wide variety of firearm platforms in fixed, adjustable, and side-folding models. To get 15% off your legally transported and carried pistol braces, use the code TGC15 over at sb-tactical.com. In June, Texas Governor Abbott signed 10 new pro-gun bills that will become effective September 1st of this year. Let's take a second and celebrate the fact that pro-gun legislation has been signed into law. We almost never get to talk about that here on the show, so if you would please, join me in a golf clap. Anyway, first up is House Bill 121, which pertains to the 30-06 and 30-07 signs that property owners are required to post if they don't want people carrying openly or concealed on their property. The new law provides a legal defense for those who unknowingly enter an establishment with one of those signs posted and leave after being orally informed that they're not allowed to be there. House Bill 302 alters the law in regards to residential lease agreements. The law now prohibits no firearms clauses in future residential lease agreements. It also protects a tenant's right to possess firearms and ammunition in dwelling units and on manufactured home lots, provided that they're lawfully owned. Criminals need not apply. Lastly, the law also allows them to transport guns directly between their personal vehicles and these locations, something that you would have thought you'd be able to do anyway. House Bill 1143 amends the law to prohibit school districts from regulating the manner in which employees can store firearms in their vehicles in the parking lot, provided that they're not in plain view. Now, put this another way, it prevents the district from requiring that you do something like, storing a gun in a locked safe inside a duffel bag, tethered to your seat with a, windshield cover. House Bill 1177 protects citizens from being prosecuted for carrying a handgun without a license while either evacuating an area or returning to an area that was declared a state or local disaster. The law also allows shelters, which would otherwise prohibit the carrying of firearms, to determine whether they will accommodate people with firearms in their possession. In other words, during a time of disaster, some discretion is given to those running the shelter. House Bill 1791 generally restrains cities, counties, and state agencies from preventing the carrying of firearms in government buildings. House Bill 2363 amends the law in relation to foster parents and firearms. The law was clarified in relation to the minimum standards relating to the storage of firearms in foster homes. The minimum standards must allow firearms and ammunition to be stored separately or stored together in the same locked location if the firearms are stored with a trigger locking device attached to the firearms. House Bill 3231 pertains to the Texas Firearms Preemption Law. In addition to updating the preemption law, it curbs the ability of municipalities to use their zoning authority in order to restrict the sale or transfer of firearms and ammunition at the local level. The law also now allows the state attorney general to recover reasonable expenses when suing a municipality which violates the preemption statute. Senate Bill 535 amends the law to remove churches, synagogues, or other places of worship from the list of prohibited locations to carry a firearm in the Penal Code. This now allows individuals attending services to carry firearms, provided the place of worship does not post signage to the contrary. Senate Bill 741 amends the current law to prohibit a property owners association from including or enforcing a provision in a dedicatory instrument that prohibits, restricts, or has the effect of prohibiting or restricting any person who is otherwise authorized from lawfully possessing, transporting, or storing a firearm. Under the Texas Property Code, a dedicatory instrument is defined as, among other things, a governing instrument covering the establishment, maintenance, and operation of a residential subdivision. Lastly, Senate Bill 772 provides civil liability protection to business establishments which choose not to post 30-06 or 30-07 signs. This creates an effect of reducing vulnerability to lawsuits and perhaps some justification for the establishments to allow the carrying of firearms on their property that might not otherwise have been. As you can see, Texas passed a number of laws that cover a variety of topics. Every once in a while, it seems that some states are actually able to pass things that aren't in the vein of restricting rights.
The stars at night are big and bright.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
That's it for this episode. If you learned anything from the show, help us out, hit that like button. Make sure you share it around with your friends. Don't forget to get subscribed if you enjoyed the video. Consider supporting us via the links down in the video description. And as always, thanks for watching.
With this green shirt.
That's a weird look. And today we're taking a look at a number of new pro-gun laws. Nope, no, we're not. No, we're gonna, I know that. Yeah, I got it. New pro-gun bills that will become, no, one more time. In June, Texas Governor Abbott signed 10 new pro-gun bills. Wow.
Okay, woosah.
All right, I'm woosad.
Woosah.
The law was clarified. Wow.
Yep, it's over, but don't worry, you can click on the video up top to watch last week's show, and the one below that is the one that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. Check them out and let me know what you think.